plans for me are good. You hold my future. You're working all the time. You're the mountain mover. From sunrise to sunset, till the sun comes back up again. You're by my side. You started a good work in me. I know that you will complete it. You will see it through, yeah. I know that you're still working on me. And everything that you say you'll do, 'cause I believe that you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful. I'll trust your every word, 'cause I believe that you're working for my good. Yes, you're committed. From sunrise to sunset, till the sun comes back up again. You're by my side. You started a good work in me. I know that you will complete it. You will see it through, yeah. I know that you're still working on me. And everything that you say you'll do, 'cause I believe that you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful. You are my hope, you are my future. You are the mountain mover. You are faithful. You are my hope, you are my future. You are the mountain mover. You are faithful. You started a good work in me. I know that you will complete it. You will see it through, yeah. I know that you're still working on me. And everything that you say you'll do, 'cause I believe that you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful, oh, you are faithful.
Hey everyone! I'm Erica, and I just ran a 5K race this afternoon! I didn't win, but I also didn't give up. I made it all the way to the finish line, so it's time to celebrate! Yeah! Oh man, I have been training all month for this race, so it has taken a lot of commitment. Commitment is making a plan and putting it into practice. I made a plan, and I practiced a lot. All that running. And strength training. And even training my brain. For a month, it's like training has been my life. Like, I thought about this race constantly. When I decided what to eat. Oh, when I chose how to spend my time. From morning until night, I kept my mind on the race. That's what you gotta do when you truly commit to something. Like, you've gotta live like it's important to you. Today's story is about a woman who lived her whole life that way. I'll see you when you get back. I've gotta get this party started!
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Mark, chapter 12.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another Sunday service. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. we are wrapping up the month of May where we've talked about 5K and run the race. And we're not just actually running a race, we're actually running the race of life. And we're learning all about commitment. And with commitment, that means we are making a plan and putting that plan into practice. And today, I've got a really cool and very interesting story for you guys. So, as you guys know, Jesus walked around a lot, went and visited many, many different places. And one day, Jesus and his disciples decided to visit a temple. Now, a temple is kind of like a church, and that's where they held services, that's where they read scripture, that's where he could talk to people like me, like a pastor, and find out all kinds of interesting things. Now, Jesus sat across from the place where people began to bring temple offerings. So they would offer things to God. They were like, hey, we're going to make a sacrifice, we're going to do whatever it would be. We also would call it tithing. So people were tithing. And Jesus sat across and he wanted to just really watch what people were doing, what their attitudes were like and how it was going. So many rich people, of course, what did they do? They gave a lot. So you're talking if you have, a lot of money, well, they gave back so much money. And then all of a sudden, Jesus notices in the line that an elderly woman who was a widow, now it doesn't tell us how he seduced that or deduced that, but it comes out that she's a widow. And a widow means that she had lost her husband. So she comes up and all she has on her is like 2 little pennies. So all she's got is like these 2 little pennies, 2 little coins, and she gives it. Now, what's very interesting about this lady is that this was all she had to live on. This was all of her earnings. This was everything that she had. And so in Mark chapter 12, we see this. Jesus sat down across from the place where people put their temple offerings. He watched the crowd putting their money into the offering boxes. Many rich people threw large amounts, and they were like, this and this. But a poor widow came and put 2 very small copper coins. They were worth only but a few pennies. And he said, so then Jesus says to the people around him, he says, what I'm about to tell you is true. This poor widow has put more into this offering box than everybody else. They gave a lot because they're rich. But she gave even though she is poor. This was all she had. She put in everything she had. That was all she had to live on. Crazy. So all she had, this was everything that she owned. She didn't really have much, didn't really have a lot to help give. She wasn't rich, so she lived on these little pieces to make sure that she had food, she had shelter, she had provisions to make sure that she was still living, and yet she knew that it was important to sacrifice and to give things and give an offering to God. And so she willingly and humbly said, you know what, I'm going to give my last little bit, I'm going to give my everything to God and trust and believe that, you know what, He's going to take care of me. And so what's really cool about that is we kind of wrap up this race. There are a lot of people out there who they have a lot. And of course then they give, but sometimes they give with an attitude of like, I'm so cool and I'm so rich, so I'm just going to give. But oftentimes we want to give with a very humble heart to go, Jesus, I give so you can bless others. I give so that way I can continue to trust you and follow who you are. So as we wrap up the month of May, we wrap up this idea of making our plan and putting it into practice. So the last thing that we want to put into practice is we want to practice living for God. So we want to practice and make sure that we, like this widow, go, you know what, God, I'm giving you my everything. I give you everything that is me. I give you all that I am, all that I have been, all that I will be. I give you it all so that you can live in and through me, so that through me, people see you. I'm going to practice living for God. Everything I do is for God. So as we wrap up this idea of run the race and commitment, we want to make sure that we are living for God. We're living for Him, and we're making sure that people see Him through us and our actions. I love you guys. I hope you guys have had a wonderful month hanging out with us. It has been fabulous. I will see you guys again next month where we talk about a whole new theme for our summer. We've got a really fun, awesome summer theme that goes with our VBS later this summer. I love you guys. I will see you all again next week. Continue to practice living for God. Let's see what our friends are up to.
Nobody else thought a poor woman giving 2 small coins was a big deal, but Jesus saw the truth. Other people gave because they were rich. This woman gave everything she had because she was putting her trust in God. She was living for Him. And that's something to celebrate. Woo! Yeah! Living for God is about more than giving money. It's about trying to include God in every part of your day. It's about asking yourself before every choice you make, does this honor God? I could copy my friend's homework or do the work myself, like I'm supposed to. I'm gonna do the work. Or ask yourself, does what I'm about to do show love to others? My friend didn't get me anything for my birthday. Should I get even by giving her nothing? Or should I forgive her? Well, I did already wrap it. She's gonna love it. If you ask yourself those questions, it'll help keep your mind on God. It'll help you think about how Jesus lived and loved others. This probably won't become a habit overnight. That's why the one thing to remember today is this: practice living for God. The more you practice asking yourself, does this honor God? And does this show love to others? The more natural it becomes. It feels good to commit to something and stick to it. I'm glad I committed to running a 5K. I feel stronger and healthier, and between you and me, I think I'm going to start training for another one. But first, we celebrate! See you around!